Hello, my name is Andrew, and these are 5 reasons why raw meat is healthy and cooked meat is not. So last fall, after trying literally every other diet, from raw vegan to keto to pescatarian, I decided to give carnivore a shot. And at that point, I hadn't even considered eating raw meat, so I was just cooking up a bunch of eggs, beef, and salmon every day. But no matter how much I experimented with different foods and heating methods, I'd always end up with acid reflux and burping within minutes of eating, and then I'd feel horrible for the next 8 hours. Like my stomach just couldn't digest what I was eating, you know? One day I decided to try a bite of raw ground beef, and amazingly, it didn't cause any acid reflux or burping at all. So I just gradually ate more and more to the point where I've now been eating raw carnivore for over a year with perfect digestion and 0 negative side effects. Basically, eating cooked meat is like throwing a charred log into a wood stove because the denaturing causes it to burn too hot, which damages your stomach, whereas raw meat just digests like a normal log, burning gradually and providing long-term stable energy. Secondly, one of the main claims about cooked meat is that it increases the bioavailability of protein, with some theories suggesting that humans increase their nutrition as much as 50% when they started using fire. However, this is not supported by science whatsoever, and the reality is that all meat protein is well absorbed regardless of state, with raw, boiled, and pan-fried all reaching 97 to 99% absorption, which completely invalidates the caveman fire theory, at least as far as meat is concerned. Furthermore, some methods of cooking are significantly worse than raw, with grilled meat coming in dead last with only 80% absorption. But here's the kicker: cooked meat also triggers slower gastric emptying, essentially tricking the stomach into keeping food around longer than necessary. So in the end, raw meat is actually absorbed and digested faster than cooked meat, just like the story of the tortoise and the hare. Thirdly, raw meat is often considered dangerous because of the higher bacterial load, with most influencers and health authorities claiming you can get sick from even a tiny amount. But the truth is, people get sick from cooked meat all the time, because even if 100% of the bacteria is killed off, they can still leave behind toxins, which ironically make the meat more attractive to harmful bacteria when stored in the fridge. Conversely, raw meat from healthy animals is already pre-colonized with probiotics like lactobacillus, making it more resistant to contamination, which is why I've gotten sick countless times from eating cooked meat, but never once from raw. This also applies to the human body as well, because people eating cooked meat will have weaker and less diverse gut flora, whereas someone on a raw meat diet can handle bacterial contamination without even showing symptoms. In addition to killing off 100% of probiotics, cooking also destroys 100% of the enzymes naturally found in meat, which are essential for helping break it down into usable nutrition. With plain raw meat, this doesn't make a huge difference because the human body already produces a massive amount of its own enzymes. However, everything changes with raw meat that's fermented a few days to a few weeks, because the enzymes and probiotics begin to break the meat down into smaller components that require fewer digestive enzymes to be released by the body. The reason for this is that cooking denatures meat, unfolding the proteins rapidly and creating a massive dense lumps that make it difficult for the stomach to churn properly. On the other hand, raw meat breaks apart slowly, creating smaller particles that are easier to churn. Finally, I've seen a lot of videos and comments where people eating a cooked carnivore diet will talk about only clearing out their bowels once a week, and it's a bad sign because there's not a single wild animal on planet Earth that goes that infrequently. Wolves, dogs, lions, hawks, and snakes all clear out daily or every 2 to 3 days, but when you've got dense, dehydrated meat sitting in your bowels for a week, everything starts to compact, which can lead to constipation and inflammation, as well as exposure to toxic byproducts that would normally get cleared out before they cause any harm. With a raw animal-based diet, though, I'm able to clear out every single day, which allows me to process more food with less risk of damage. And eating high fat works even better since it helps move food through the digestive tract and protect the intestinal walls. One other benefit of raw animal-based foods is that they're incredibly hydrating and perfectly balanced, so where I had to constantly drink water most of my life on a cooked diet, I now drink almost nothing, especially eating high fat, which keeps the moisture locked in. Overall, as long as you source from small, health-minded farms as opposed to commercial factories, raw meat is all pros and no cons compared to cooked carnivore. That said, if you'd like to learn more, you can check out my raw primal playlist or my day in a life video to see what I eat on a raw animal-based diet. And if you have a question about eating raw meat or about natural health in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.